Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Coming up this week, Shanghai Disneyland opening day tickets sell out in a matter of hours. Dates and details have been released for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party for 2016, and a very sad story about a suicide at Disney's Contemporary Resort. All that coming up next. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 879, for the week of March 29th, 2016. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm Kathy Whirling.
Hi, everybody.
Julie Martin.
Hello.
And back in the production nook, our producer, Craig Williams.
Hello.
Along with the lovely and talented Junior Steve Porter.
Hello.
Steve Junior Porter. So welcome to the show, everybody. Hope you're having a great week. A couple things in housekeeping that I want to make sure we talk about. First of all, there is not going to be a show next week, nor is there going to be a daily fix going up next week. That is because the vast majority of the team is going to be out in California working on our next event. Those of you that enjoyed the Disneyland 7 and 7 that we did last year, we've got something even bigger planned for this year, and we're going to be out there next week working on that, and that event will go up in June. We'll have more details a little later on, but we are going to be covering the California Food and Wine Festival at Disney California Adventure this coming weekend, so stay tuned for that. But so no show next week for either the Disney World edition or the Universal edition, and the Daily Fix will not be up next week either. So there's that. Now, speaking of shows, every Monday on DizUnplugged.com and YouTube.com/Dreams Unlimited Travel, the Dreams Unlimited Travel Show.
Now, that will be up next Monday.
That will be up next Monday. And what was this week's show?
This past week, we had special guest Kathleen Bobbitt, our executive assistant, talking to us about traveling solo as a grandparent with the two grandkids. We've got really great feedback from that show already.
Always do with her.
People love Kathleen.
She's great.
She's very authentic.
Things like what kind of paperwork she needed, and also just, carving out time for herself and still making sure the kids are having fun. So people really responded well to that show.
And what about next week? What do we have coming up?
Next week, Tracy Heinrichs is going to talk about booking a Disney Cruise Line vacation, and we discuss the ins and outs of that and the ships and picking a stateroom and all that sort of stuff.
Awesome.
Try to demystify that.
That's every Monday. You can go to DizUnplugged.com and check out those shows. You can also head over to YouTube.com/Dreams Unlimited Travel as well. And returning this Friday, right? This Friday.
Yes, this Friday.
Connecting with Walt with Michael Bowling and Craig Williams. Craig, what's coming up this week?
Okay, no, here's the thing.
Walt takes the girls to Girl Scouts.
Michael was nice enough to prepare the synopsis that I was not ready with. Connecting with Walt returns for its spring run on Friday, April 1st. On this Friday show, Michael and Craig trick you with an April Fool fact or fiction.
I was just about to say, is this a joke?
The Frozen Ever After Epcot attraction was Walt Disney's idea, or was it? And then we introduce a new series titled Disney Neverland. So that will be going up on Friday afternoon.
Awesome. Yep. And of course, the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific, or I had that backwards, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
Sounds right.
And this past week, so Tom, I know you're watching. From now on, it's either next week's or this week's. I'm not doing both. Okay? Team, this week, the show that went up yesterday, the team reviewed lunch at the River Bell Terrace. Coming up next week, the team has their thoughts on this year's California Food and Wine Festival. And, of course, every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, live DizUnplugged.com, the Universal Edition of the Diz Unplugged with Craig Williams, Rhino Clappin, and Jenny Lynn Knopp. And what is this week's show all about?
I believe this week our show is going to be a like this, try that, this time around with restaurants. So we'll talk about some Disney restaurants that are similar to ones at Universal. So you can make that comparison if you want.
All right. So that's coming up this Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, DizUnplugged.com. So with that out of the way, I do need to put out a call for contributors. For those who've been following the show, you know that we allow people to sign up as contributors and submit articles to the site. If we publish your article, you make $50. It's nice and simple. We need contributors specifically, though, for topics around Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, and Universal Orlando. We've got plenty of people writing for Walt Disney World. We really need a Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, Universal Orlando. Also dining-related articles are something we're looking for right now. So if you want to write on any of those topics for us and make $50 every time we publish it, we'll have a link to where you can sign up in the show notes page. So there's that. What else do we have in housekeeping?
Diz 10th anniversary resorts are on sale. If you go to the podcast boards, you'll see a sticky thread at the top with links to how to book those and information on those resorts. Selling out pretty quickly, especially the deluxe resorts. And something that's actually happened that's very nice is if you call and you want to extend the trip, either pre or post, the groups department is allowing you to have the group rate as long as rooms are available at that rate. So
wow.
You could even stay longer at some pretty incredible rates.
Yeah, the rates are incredible. It's July 22nd through the 26th is going to be the big Diz Unplugged 10th anniversary weekend with a live show on the actual date of our 10th anniversary, which is July 25th. So very, very excited about that. We'll have links to that in the show notes page as well, DizUnplugged.com. So what else we have?
This is probably the last time I'm going to be able to mention this. We've talked about our October backstage magic in Disneyland at Halloween, and apparently talking about it has done wonders because we are down to the last handful of spaces available. I'm serious. We're under 6 spaces left available. So if you're interested, Kevin at Dreams Unlimited Travel, I have all the details, but act fast because all of a sudden people have gotten interested.
Cool. Anything else? All right, then let's throw it over to Johnny with the news.
All right, our first news story. Shanghai Disneyland opening day tickets sold out online in hours. Tickets for the June 16th opening of Shanghai Disneyland sold out in only a few hours after midnight this past Monday. Additionally, the 2 on-site hotels, the Toy Story Hotel and the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel, have been booked for the first 2 weeks of the resort's opening. While opening day tickets have all been sold, tickets for June 17th through September 30th are still available. The park tickets relative low costs compared to other Disney parks may have been one of the enticing reasons for the tickets selling out so quickly. A one-day ticket cost 370 yuan, or $57, for non-peak periods, and the same ticket costs 499 yuan, or $77 for peak periods.
I think there's also a collectability about having an opening day ticket.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Or saying I was there for opening day. Right. That's huge. At 963 acres, the new park will be 3 times the size of Hong Kong Disneyland. Bloomberg.com says, quote, the resort's revenue is likely to range from 24 billion to 40 billion yuan a year, with up to 50 million visitors expected annually.
Wow.
It's going to be big. Big, big, big.
Can't wait to go out there.
I know, so excited.
Before you move on to the next story, I'm just taking a look on the Diz, and this must have gone up this morning, that the writer's stop at Hollywood Studios, according to the Disney food blog, is not going to be closing. Oh, no. Was that your...
Yeah.
And you mentioned one of the news stories was Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
You covered that in the teaser that you were going to cover that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say...
So,
This show will
Kathy,
be short.
you get a jump on your rapid fire here. Go ahead and talk about it.
Well...
Because I'm very happy to hear this.
Yes.
That's why I jumped in with it.
It was supposed to close April 2nd, but now it's going to stay open. It's going to be called the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater Restaurant lounge.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
You know,
That's not even a good acronym.
yeah.
Sedilla.
So they're hoping that when you're waiting for your meal at Sci-Fi that you'll stop in here. They're going to have a selection of appetizers, beer, wine, non-alcoholic refreshments. They're going to have warm pretzels served with spicy mustard and cheese sauce, spiced nuts, charcuterie, and a cheese platter. So it's going to be like a lounge. They're going to have a new line of kitchen items, and it'll be open from 11:30 a.m. to 1 hour before Sci-Fi closes at
Now,
night.
do you have to have a reservation at Sci-Fi to go in there, or
Doesn't seem to be.
It sounds like in front of the Brown Derby, there's that outdoor space that has little appetizers. It sounds like it's a version of
it's a
that.
great idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great. I'm just glad it's not completely.
I always
Yes.
like that space a lot.
I love that space.
But this sounds like a mess. You can get charcuterie and kitchen items.
Like a pizza cutter.
And you can
some
go
cheese,
for
please.
appetizers before you go to eat. I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. I like it as the writer's stop. I always thought that was kind of cool. It tied
The
into
old
Hollywood
writer's
thing.
stop,
Yeah.
not the writer's stop like when we were there.
I was in there one day. This was a couple of years ago, and the guy says to me, "Oh, you should have been here yesterday. Julie Andrews and her daughter were here signing books."
Oh, wow.
I thought, and no one called me.
Really?
Yeah. They need more tables and stuff. If they're going to make it like a lounge,
It's a
you need
small
some place
space.
to sit down.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. I miss the idea of. They used to have it at Downtown Disney. Now, I haven't been there in a while, but they used to have what they call reading and writing. And you could get all of the Disney books and all of the Disney movies and that stuff. And there was a lot of times I would go there looking for something specific that I had seen, heard about, but couldn't find anywhere. And that was the same way with the writers thing. I don't remember the
We
actual
liked it.
writer's stop.
We liked it so much.
But I used to go in there. We used to go in there whenever
Yeah.
we were there. I think Disney needs that sort of all-encompassing Disney bookstore.
I agree.
So, sorry, Kathy, I didn't mean to step
Oh,
on your
that's
rapid
okay.
fire, but at least you got
I'm
it.
done.
She
I'm
can
good.
leave. All right, our second news story. Disney Early Morning Magic event details leaked. Walt Disney World will be offering a new, quote, Disney Early Morning Magic event at the Magic Kingdom. Rumors of the new package popped up a few days ago after a screenshot of a partial listing on My Disney Experience hit the internet, but nothing else was known. Details are now being leaked. Kenny the Pirate's website says that this will be a paid event and will give guests access to the Magic Kingdom at 7:45 a.m. before the official park opening time on select days. The price will be $69 for adults and $49 for children and will include access to 3 Fantasyland rides, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and Peter Pan's Flight. Guests will also partake in a breakfast at Pinocchio Village House, available from 8:30 to 10 a.m. Breakfast will include juice, coffee, teas, fruit and beverages, baked pastries, cheese and cured meats,
What?
pastries,
He's having a stroke in
In
front of us.
installments, apparently.
pastries, cheese and cured meats, scrambled eggs and assorted toppings, vegetable frittata, smoked bacon, pork and turkey sausages, potatoes, and Mickey waffles.
Wow.
Regular tickets to the Magic Kingdom are required in addition to the special event ticket. The park will open to day guests at 9 a.m., so this is when exclusive access to the 3 attractions ends. Tickets for this event are not yet on sale, and the dates have not been announced.
So you
Why
have an
not-
hour and 15 minutes?
No.
7:45 to
Yeah.
9
Yeah,
a.m.?
I do.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
I can count.
Basically, yeah.
So we
That's
probably
3 rides and all the Mickey waffles
Well,
you can
let's
carry.
just call it what it is. You're paying to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah.
Let's just
Yeah.
call it what it is.
Yeah.
Disney should just have a guy out front with a PayPal swiper and say, if you want to ride this ride, give me your credit card. Because, I mean, that's what, who cares about the other 2 rides, right? Those
Well, no,
aren't-
Peter Pan's very popular.
Yeah.
Peter Pan's
Peter
very
Pan has
popular.
a very slow loading line.
Very slow. There's always a long line for that
Well,
ride.
when we did the
All right.
Be Our Guest breakfast, and it got to be about 5 minutes to 9, the restaurant just totally emptied to get, because the thinking was that
Right.
got you to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train before everybody else. So now Disney once again is charging you for that.
Yeah. At least on select days. So
Right.
I don't think the strategy is gone for, every day. I think just on these select days, and we'll have to see. Did I hear that dates were released for this?
No,
I know
No.
that was the evening out. That was the evening
event.
stuff. But I know it's gonna bring up the discussion. We don't have to go there. You just go back to last week and listen.
Last week.
About the discussion about this, and we're elitist and you're not, and okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. Just like, if you want to hear what we have to say about it, go back to last week's show and listen to the news.
So the assumption is this is not going to be when regular resort early morning hours are, right?
No.
You can't have
Right.
both at the same time.
No.
So, it does include a breakfast. However, the breakfast does look a little sketchy.
Well, it depends. It's only, what's worth it to one person may not be worth it to another. And so it's an option.
I think
It's an option.
breakfast
I don't
sounds
think
pretty
it's
typical.
I don't think it's taking away the existing early morning hours that resort guests get. I don't think it's going to be replacing that. At least not yet. At least that's not what we're hearing. Or is it? You're looking at me funny.
Well, no, I was just about to say, I think it's good for families with small kids, probably, because lots of small kids get up early, and so they can get to the park, and Fantasyland is a smart area of the park to choose to do this, I felt like.
Well, I have a feeling what you're going to see is they're doing this with Fantasyland now. If this works, there's going to be a Tomorrowland one. Mm-hmm. And then there's going to be a Frontierland one.
The Country Bears Jamboree opens up early.
And then there's going to be, and then I think we'll start seeing
Extra magic hours for $69
or extra magic hours for the resorts going away.
The thing I have found interesting lately is how many things inadvertently make it up on the Disney website. And then when the Disney community goes crazy.
I said this weeks ago, that this is not an accident.
Okay.
The word leaked is kind of like...
This is not an accident. This is how it's done. When Disney releases a survey where they ask, what was that survey that
There's
just
$15 for the resort fee.
the resort fee? They're not actually doing a survey to find out if people like the idea or not. They're throwing it out there to soften the ground, kind of get the discussion before they actually make the announcement. Nobody wants their official announcement met with a cacophony of screams, unless they're good screams. So when they know it's going to be unpopular, when they know it's going to generate this kind of talk on on social media, on blogs, on discussion boards, this is what they do. And, everybody should have learned the lesson from Magic Bands. Go ahead and yell. Go ahead and yell. They're not going to stop. The only thing that's going to stop them from doing this is if they try it and it fails and nobody pays for it. And we all know, whether we think it's worth it or not, we all know that's going to happen, that people are going to pay it. So really, come on, suffering is optional, guys.
I think most people, my opinion is that most guests that visit Disney aren't on our boards.
No, that's true.
They're not even going to notice it.
I think for early magic hours or whatever it's being called, I think this one's going to get swept away a little bit more quickly. Anyone who's ridden Seven Dwarfs Mine Train knows that it's not worth it. Maybe for the first time you ride it, if you still haven't been there yet and you really want to get to it, but
I think it's worth it. I love that ride.
So do I.
okay,
I'm
well,
like, what?
Enough to pay $70?
Well, no, I'm
Miss
just saying.
Miss Julie's coming over.
He's like seven. Seriously, Greg?
I am basing
not
this.
worth it?
Okay, here's the thing. I went yesterday at 2:00. I put on my My Disney Experience app. I found a fast pass for an hour and a half later, so I booked it, went over, rode it, and I guess everyone on my train must be on the same thought that I was, because yesterday the wait was like 130 minutes, so these people were waiting in long lines for it, and they all get off and say, "Was that really just it?" So I mean that's.
Okay, here for me, again, for some people it's worth it. $69 to be able to get on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Peter Pan and have breakfast. Yeah, okay. Okay. That's worth it to me. Absolutely.
We rarely get to ride Peter Pan.
This
Rarely.
reminds
Never.
me-
Those
this
are two
reminds me-
rides. I'm sorry. Those are two rides that I look at and go, because I'm not doing the 6 month ahead of time fast pass and or dining reservation.
Do you know my first time to ride Mine Train was last October? And how long had it been open?
Yeah, but same
So,
for me.
you're
Same
right,
for
you know.
me. It had been ages.
I mean, that's all about flexibility, though. I see Peter Pan Fast Passes available almost every day. They were even available yesterday, and
Not when I'm
spring
there.
break crowds are out of control this year. It was absolute utter insanity, but I was still able to pull Fast Passes for
But
basically
see, for
whatever
me,
I
it's
wanted.
not just that. It's the experience of doing it when there isn't 10,000 people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So having not crazy crowds, being able to access those rides and have breakfast as a way to start my morning and then go do my touring plan for the rest of the day in the park. Yeah, okay.
The time seems short to me.
It is.
It is a
Yeah,
little
it
short.
is.
An
However, I
hour and
think what-
15 minutes.
How many of these tickets are they going to sell?
I
That's
also
the
think what
question.
you've got is that it's going to end and then people will go to breakfast. So it'll be extended till 10 because you'll be in breakfast until 10. Where I
does
think
it say that breakfast is served till 10?
Yeah,
That makes
somewhere
sense.
I saw that.
8:30 to
didn't hear
10
that
a.m.
part.
breakfast is served.
You know what? That's a difference. That's an hour and 15 minutes to ride the 3 rides and then go have breakfast.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
This is going to appeal. This is very similar to when they did e-ticket. And what would happen is people are going to get to the resort who don't know anything about pre-planning or anything like that and say, I want to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And people at Disney are going to go, well, we have this special thing that for $69 you can get on that ride and have a breakfast included. And that's where it's going to hit people who don't know in advance to make those advance reservations. And
Yeah, because what's breakfast at the Crystal Palace? It's
Yeah. It's like
I don't know if the
$30.
Yeah.
I think, or more than that, actually.
I also have to say, there are a lot of people out there who do not know about this Fast Pass system. I witnessed
agree.
it firsthand in the parks this past week.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
People walking up to the Fast Pass lady being like, can I get a Fast Pass? She's like,
No.
no. These are gone months in advance. And these people, the look on their faces was just like, really? For somebody like that, it could be like, oh, well, this is my way to get my kids,
Right.
even if they have to pay the $69 or whatever.
And if this is available as a
especially if it's their
pamphlet-
once-in-a-lifetime vacation. I mean, for your kids, you would do it.
Yeah.
if it's
You
a
would.
pamphlet
I
at a
see both
resort,
sides of the
people will
coin
do
like
it,
you,
I
Pete,
think.
but
Well, you bring up a good point talking about, what you do for your kids. And when we were sitting here mocking the 5-hour wait to see Elsa and Anna at Princess Fairy Tale Hall in the Magic Kingdom, and the amount of emails we got from parents saying, yeah, for my kids, if
Worth
that's what
every
they want,
minute.
absolutely. So, like I said, this is an option that right now, this is not taking anything away from anybody else. It's not taking anything away from anything that's already been going on. The early morning hours that you get as a resort guest, it's not affecting you. So this is just an extra option. Disney will see how it goes. Now, they start taking away extra magic hours from resort guests, then it's a different story. But if this is just another option and none of that changes, stop your belly aching.
I think we're going to see it on both sides. I think you're going to see extra magic hours will now be an additional cost for resort guests. If you want to participate in it, then you'll have to pay an extra.
I hope not. That's where I would draw the line.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to draw the line. I mean, this stuff that they're doing now, I get it. I understand it. Some of it I would pay for, some of it I wouldn't, but it's not taking anything away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's adding something at an extra charge. So we talked about this last week. It's an option. You don't have to do it. You can go, continue with what you've always done. None of that's changing. Now, they take that away in deference to this, different story altogether. Is that a possibility? It's 6 to 5 and pick 'em, folks. It's Disney, and they are nickel and diming like crazy. But as of right now, I'm trying to look at this from as fair a perspective as I can and say, yeah, this is just extra stuff for people that choose to pay it, that for people where that's worth it. For some people, spending on a Louis Vuitton bag doesn't make any sense at all, but for others, it does.
God, I know. It makes me part of the 1% of the 1%. I know, I get it.
So,
and also, side note, Craig, you need to ride with Ferris. And then
that's gotta
that
be
would be your
great.
favorite ride in the whole world.
that's got to be great.
I don't disagree with that. I'm saying just give me Ferris for a day, and I'll plan the fast passes.
Julie,
And
don't do it. Please, I'm begging you, don't do it.
I've never really babysat before. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard.
Well,
That's
I don't
the way
know.
to win me
The
over.
the whole thing is, I don't know who would be babysitting who. I don't know who'd be
Does Ferris
babysitting
drink?
who.
No, not yet.
That could change.
All right.
All right, our third and final news story. A little bit sad. If you have young ears listening, you might want to fast forward the rapid fire. Police investigate death at Contemporary Resort. A March 22nd death at Disney's Contemporary Resort is being investigated by the Orange County Sheriff's Office. According to eyewitness reports, a guest jumped from the central A-frame tower of the resort around 4 p.m. Emergency services responded promptly, and police were also called. Police investigators say they, quote, believe the person took their own life. The monorails were temporarily shut down due to the crime scene, but a Disney spokesperson has confirmed that they are back up and running now. She said the incident is all being handled by the sheriff's office. As of right now, there's no other news as to identity or any details about the incident itself.
Yeah, there's some things I want to say about this. Just because of some of the emails I've received and some of the commentary that's been made online, on our boards, on Facebook. And I want to start out by saying that I don't think any of the commentary is particularly inappropriate. I think some of it is uninformed. There is a perspective on something like this, on a story like this, on a situation like this, that is very, very difficult for most people to wrap their heads around. Our most basic human instinct is self-preservation. So the act of someone taking their own life is just not something most people can understand unless you've been there, unless you've been one of those people who have attempted that. I am one of those people. In August of 2002, I attempted to take my own life with an overdose of 90 pills. It was a conscious decision on my part, and I knew what I was doing. So I also know that I was not in my right state of mind. And I know now, having had therapy and treatment and gotten the help that I needed, I can look back and I can see what that process was for me and how that process unfolded for me. And I know people who have committed suicide. I know people who have attempted suicide. And of course, like I just said, I was one of those people. So when I hear statements online about selfishness, you are trying to apply a logic to a situation where logic does not apply. What goes through someone's head in that moment is not something that can be really, really explained. It is a loss of hope beyond anything any of you who have not been through it have ever experienced. This is not a bad day. This is not a bad mood. This is mental illness. There is hope. There is treatment, but there is a shroud of shame that surrounds this topic. For as much as we will talk about in this day and age, this is a topic that remains shrouded in secrecy and shame. Because on the other side of it, you are looked at differently, and you are talked to and treated differently. There's almost a disgust that you get from people. I understand why people would feel it would be selfish. But it isn't. It isn't. You're not in your right state of mind when you do something like this. So I would just ask people to try and understand that this is beyond. This isn't something you can put yourself in someone else's shoes and empathize with where they're at. You have no point of reference if you haven't been there. And that's what I would ask people to reach for. I don't understand. And to not assume that someone's looking for attention. Not assume that someone is bad. Someone's hurting. And the best thing that anyone can do is to reach out for help, to let the person know. If you know someone who's depressed, if you know someone and you feel that person is in danger, let them know you're there. You can't change what they do. You can't change where they are, what they feel, what they think, or how they act. All you can do is be supportive. All you can do is let them know you are there. Offer them resources. At the end of the day, it's an individual choice, not made in the right mind. But I would just ask people to be a little bit more understanding and a little bit more compassionate. We will include a link in the show notes page to the suicide hotline. If you or anybody you know deals with this, keep that number handy. And remember that if you haven't lived through it, you just don't get it. And that's okay. But understand your limitations and treat people with love and support and compassion. So that's it.
All right. That'll do it for the news.
All right. Thanks, John. We are going to move on to Rapid Fire, and we will start with you.
All right. The rainy, stormy season has started in Central Florida, and those of us living in St. Cloud have seemed to...
If there's bad weather in Florida and you want to know where John and I live, look under the bad weather.
Look at that bright red spot on the weather map. Something I swear by, other people use different ones, but this is the News 13 weather app. I think it's pretty invaluable to have any one of these apps.
Theirs is the best.
I think so. Other people try other ones. What I like about them is not only can you see the weather, you get predictions and things like that. They have a real-time weather map, which shows you the storms coming in, but also they give you real-time alerts. So the other day, boop, 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 our phones went off and said, take shelter immediately. So I don't want people
We had a tornado warning.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, tornado
Those
warning,
things scare the
which
crap
one's
out of
worse,
you.
the watch or the warning? The warning.
Warning.
So John and the two dogs and I and my computer were sitting in their bathroom.
However, I think this is really important for people on vacation because you're going to be in the parks not paying attention to stuff. And the fact that this is now in your hand and it might go off, at least you'll have a warning that, anything from severe lightning will give you a warning too. So that's a good thing to know too if you're outside. So
If you use the Waze app, that's the GPS app, Katie and I happened to get caught in that storm Saturday night that I thought we were going to die. It was so bad. You couldn't see like the front end of the car. We thought about pulling over, and we thought, well, if we pull over, then somebody's going to hit us.
You're right.
We were out by where Teresa lives, and we had thought about maybe getting off the road and going there, but we couldn't even see where the exit was. But in Waze, I was going to Katie, it's like there's hail coming, there's this within the GPS app. It was, and finally Katie just told me to shut up because she didn't want to know what was coming.
See? Somebody posted a photo. It was literally a golf ball size
Yes,
hail.
it was scary.
It was even
Out
over
on-
in our area. I mean,
out
it
by
was
our
everywhere.
pool, we have two large tiled ceramic pots, and we have large Norfolk Island pines in them. The pots alone weigh 30 pounds. And John said to me after the storm was over, something's different in our backyard. I thought, okay, Dorothy, what's up? He said, I can't figure out. And we realized the two pots were missing.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
The pots and the plants had been blown into the pool. These were 30
Wow.
pound pots.
no.
One was sitting up exactly like it had gone in. One
So it must have slid off the pool deck.
Yeah.
the wind
Wow.
blew a 30 pound ceramic pot. And I mean, they have a rough bottom and
Yeah.
the pool deck is rough. So there was
Yeah.
friction there. We had bursts.
I don't want to scare people
Are
away
they
from.
still in the pool?
No.
No, someone
went
was
in.
brave enough to go into an unheated pool.
Someone.
So we're not trying to scare you on bad weather, but I think this is important to have some kind of warning.
For the most part, it's lightning.
Yeah, and that's dangerous too.
It is,
and you should know
especially
to
here in
take cover.
Florida. Because on our weather, they tell you how many lightning strikes you get in the last 15 minutes. And sometimes it's like 3,000 lightning
it's
strikes.
We were at
Steve wants to say that.
I would say using this app would be really smart in the park, and you can, if you see this big storms coming, say, hey, a hour-long wait for Space Mountain doesn't look too bad anymore because at least it's inside, and you can kind of
Because you're in a giant metal dome.
yeah.
Let's go in the giant metal ball.
But at least you're escaping the rain. That's what I was thinking.
Might as well run through the park with a golf club over your head.
I have an idea. It's lightning out. Let's go to Tower of Terror.
We were at Disney Springs Thursday night, and you could see the storm coming, and our phones kept. But it looked like something from a horror movie. People were running through Disney Springs and up the stairs in the parking garage, and it's like, well, I'm glad to see people took that storm serious because it was bad there too. But
The only thing I would have to warn you about is if your phone goes off, chances are everyone else around you's phone is
Right.
going to go. John and I were standing in Publix in the vegetable section of Publix one day, and all of the phones around us started going, and everybody just stopped. It was like a Stephen King movie, and we all just stood there like, what do we do?
It's either weather or amber. Those are the only two that pop up on my phone.
Amber
Yeah.
lights, too.
This was weather.
All right. That's my public service announcement.
Thank you, John. Kevin.
Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party dates are announced, but we don't have pricing. The dates are pretty much all of November and all of December. Oh, I'm kidding. The 7th, the 8th, the 10th, the 11th, the 13th, the 15th, the 18th, the 27th, and the 29th of November. And the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 11th, 13th, 15th, 16th, 18th, and 22nd of December. It seems to me, didn't they used to stop the Christmas parties like the 18th or 19th?
yes, they did.
Yeah, this one has one on the 22nd. That
Yeah,
seems
that's
closer
late.
than normal.
Yeah.
That's it. Pricing will be out when it's leaked.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you, Kevin. Kathy.
I gave mine already.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Wow.
passive aggressive party of one. Well, thank you again, Kathy.
Oh, sure, Pete.
Julie.
Okay, let's celebrate Mahalo Mama Month. Can you say that 6 times fast?
Is that
No.
a drink you can get like
I'm
that?
not going to say it one time slow.
It's
You
at Aulani.
stole my joke.
Ah, shut up, Greg. You weren't supposed to say I stole it.
Really?
No, I couldn't get my email to work yesterday. I don't know what was going on my phone from my desk, so I had to text him my rapid fire. So anyway, it's going to be taking place in Aulani in May to say thank you to the moms in your life. There are going to be some offerings, including breakfast in bed.
As if taking you to Hawaii wasn't good enough.
Really?
I'm going to steal something the priest said on Sunday. I don't understand breakfast in bed. I really don't. I don't want crumbs in my bed.
And it's hard to eat.
Right, laying
Yeah.
down? Where's my coffee?
They
Oops.
always show people, first of all, in those frou-frou bed jackets with that tray over their lap, and I think to myself, I don't know how I would do that.
So anyway, you can have Hawaiian-style French toast stuffed with chocolate and strawberries, topped with warm strawberry compote and whipped cream.
It comes with a needle of insulin.
You can have a spa
gonna say.
treatment at the Laniwai Spa.
What can you have at the
It's-
spa? Say it again.
You can have a spa treatment.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was something else with chocolate inside.
No. So they're offering a Mahalo Mama package for $265. You'll get a 25-minute Lomi Lomi massage, a Cinderella facial.
Lomi.
I'm not-
Oh, for want of a B.
I'm not exactly sure on my body where my lomi lomi is. And if I want it massaged or not.
Yeah, I'd like to buy
I think the girl's name is Lomi Lomi. I think there's one girl who does it.
You can get a Cinderella facial that will last 25 minutes.
Oh my god. Please make it stop.
It's done with a glass slipper.
You're not, oh gosh, and the Yummy Mummy organic pedicure.
The yummy mummy?
Yummy Mummy. As in English mommy? Mummy?
Oh.
And the Paul
Cinderella. Cinderella's doing the lomi lomi?
Stop.
Your kids can make
Cinderella's
keepsake
getting
gifts.
Oh my god.
I mean, this is not supposed to be that funny.
No, it's not, but it is.
I say skip the breakfast in bed, go for the spa. So your kids can make keepsake gifts for you in the Pauhana room. And then there's an Ohana hula on Sundays in May. Moms and kids can create a head lay,
Oh my god.
which would be a flower crown for those
Or
of you
your
who
own
don't
pearl
know.
necklace.
And you can learn the Aulani hula, and you can get a visit from a Disney friend. Purchase a PhotoPass CD and get a free 8x10
She
print.
can't do the quotes because
And
she's
she
holding
can
the phone.
save 10% on her snorkeling at the discount. I mean, at the Rainbow Reef. I just think you should throw it in for free.
Exactly.
I think it sounds like fun. I like the
10%
name
off
of the little
snorkeling
program
is
they're
worth
doing.
Going to Aulani.
First, yeah, but right. If you're going to Aulani for Mother's Day, that's your gift. But it sounds like fun. I'm glad they're doing that.
The 6-year-old boys on this side of the room are done.
I was just going to say, I'm so glad that story's over.
I didn't think I was going to make it. And I think some people listening probably says, I didn't make it through it. Okay, thank you very much, Julie. Gregory,
Okay, so
top Cinderella facial.
I can't. I'll just give mine then. Dates have been announced for the 2017 D23 Expo. It'll be held at the Anaheim Convention Center, as it always has, on July 14th through the 16th of 2017. So it is a month earlier than normal this year. They were holding it in August before, but they've actually moved it up to July, specifically the week before San Diego Comic-Con is expected to happen, because right now the rumors are they want to get all the good Star Wars and Marvel information out to the Disney fans first instead of at Comic-Con. So it should be an even more exciting year for the D23 Expo than it was the past one.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Craig. Steve.
The Zootopia characters Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps made their first ever appearance at the Magic Kingdom on Saturday in the Move It, Shake It, Dance It, and Play It street party. And so that's pretty exciting. I know people really excited about that.
You didn't sound excited.
Really?
I read this press release. Who are these people? Are they on some show that I don't watch? I had no idea what they never.
Kevin, it's a movie, Zootopia.
But that wasn't in the press release.
Oh.
Peter Bunny and Susie Hopps is all they said, and I thought they never referenced a movie.
Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde. Okay, it's a fox and a bunny.
Is that the ones that were
I love
Corey
the fact that
drew
she's
on the table?
so put out by this. All
That
it said was
Finley
these
was
people were
coloring?
appearing. I didn't know who they were.
Okay.
He did both of them and the sloth.
Okay.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, that was it. I'm excited. Maybe I didn't sound it.
It's exciting.
This is interesting that they chose. I mean, we talked about it a little bit whenever they first announced it, but it's kind of weird based on what we talked about last week. But it seemed like a decision like this to add it to that dance party, although it makes it accessible to more people and more people get to enjoy them. Like for the most part, they drive on by and then they're there and they dance with the giant mass group of kids that want to get out in the street. They get back up and they go back down, and you completely lose that whole meet and greet experience from it. So I think this is still a bizarre move.
I think I know the answer, and it might ruin the magic, but in a lot of places they have multiple characters. So if you go to meet Mickey, like, sorry to ruin the magic, but there's actually 5 Mickeys. And it might be because they're so popular and so new that they didn't want 5-hour lines to meet them. So they figured, if we put them in the parade, at least people get to see them.
Only one Mickey.
Well, I mean, that would be the first time they've done that, though, because it happened to Anna and Elsa. Baymax and what's his name?
Hero.
They were hugely popular. Joy and Sadness are going to be a nightmare. If they're not already a nightmare, I can't remember when they're coming out.
Nightmare.
So it's weird that they're doing it for them. But
when you go to Disney Springs, by the theaters, there's a billboard for Zootopia, but it's low to the ground, has the characters on it. There's actually a line of people waiting there to take their pictures with the billboard.
Yeah, I
That's
saw
how
that.
popular they are.
I got my picture taken there. just cause.
Kathy
At our local movie theater, you can actually sit in a bus seat next to one of the characters, and it's like a huge subway scene. Yeah, with all the Zootopia characters, it's really neat.
So that just goes to show how popular they are. Maybe they should have.
Well, worldwide, this movie has made over $600 million at the box office. So, yeah, it's a huge hit.
It's a great movie.
So, and for those of you who want to know, and it's got a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's incredible. But if you want to hear our review of Zootopia, let's use this to plug this fantastic video that Rhino did recently with a friend of his, where he did this little arts and crafts project, making, painting a character from the movie, showing you how he did it while doing his review.
And having blueberry lemonade vodka or something like that.
Yeah. He talks about making this
he's adorable.
craft drink.
That's all I could say.
And doing this craft project and how to do it inexpensively, and talks about the movie. And it's like a 20-minute long video. And when I first looked at it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to last about 2 minutes in this. Watched it all the way through and was like, okay, wow, I didn't even realize that that was 20 minutes. Very watchable, awesome. You can check it out on our YouTube channel. That's on WDW Info, right?
No, Diz Unplugged.
Diz Unplugged. Who the hell knows where anything is?
Rhino's coming out with his own line of entertaining and cookbooks soon. He's going after Martha
Well,
Stewart's
he's got
empire.
another one up. Did he?
Yeah, he has another one up now that is focused on the Netflix Daredevil show that is part of Marvel. So
He does the craft project again.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And these are all things that are easy to do. Anybody can do them, and they're inexpensive. And gives a review of something. And I love that creativity. This was all Rhino's idea, and all Rhino's. He's filming this himself. He's putting this together himself, and I'm really proud of him. So go check it out. Go check it out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/JizzUnplugged.
Rhino also got his first marriage proposal.
Yes, he did.
The only one of us to ever get a
That is
marriage
true.
proposal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm kind of bitter about that.
We've gotten death threats.
Yeah, where's my British prince with the marriage proposal? Rhino gets one.
Harry's not available.
I know. Damn. So anyway, we are, we're at the end of the script, but we still have some time. So I'm going to open this up. I don't think I've ever done that before. Open up. What do you want to talk about? I'm looking at you.
Well, last week, Steve and I, our day in the parks was Hollywood Studios. And, there's a lot of the attractions and props going away after April the 2nd. So we decided to make our day, let's enjoy the things that are going away, just to appreciate what they had done and, to give us a chance to think about what's coming. So one of the things that Steve and I did, the first thing he told me about, which I didn't know, was the little, are they brass
They're little
markers?
like brass strips that are in the ground, and it's markings from the old parade that used to be in Hollywood Studios. And it was just a cool. We were finding all these little details of kind of the old Hollywood Studios, and like nods to Roger Rabbit, and like little things like that.
The Rocketeer we looked at.
Yeah.
But I think that the high point, well, besides you got yelled at by a cast member, but
Which Joe?
I was trying to take a picture of Pizza Planet to see if they, over the thing, to see if they had any construction updates. And the guy came into the Muppets Theater pre-show and was like, you should respect that. Like, we don't like people taking pictures.
You should respect the construction walls.
I was like, okay.
But Steve was tall enough, he could just, rest
Yeah, I
it right
wasn't
there.
like-
It wasn't like I was trying to reach up and get the wall.
giving him a boost?
No. I mean,
weren't
it was very
standing on
slight.
benches or
Yeah.
anything. I was just putting my arm over it.
Yeah, they should make a lot bigger walls then.
Yeah.
Did he say respect the construction
Yes,
wall
he
with a
did.
straight
Yeah.
face?
Yes, he did. But he came in because we were standing in the pre-show and we're like, "Whoa, what's this?"
Yeah, well,
But-
because originally there was a cast member that was like, "Hey, don't do that," and yelled from far away. So I just stopped immediately. But I was not expecting this coordinator or whoever he was to come in and follow us in there. I was like, "Geez."
That's a little scary.
Yeah.
I said to Kathy, I said, I probably wouldn't have even been interested in the picture because it's not an interesting picture of construction. But what made me so interested is that he was so defensive over
Yes.
it that I was like, maybe I should post this because clearly it's something that they're worried about. I was like, what's the deal?
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen that.
Oh, if they were that worried, why was the wall low enough that you could just reach over it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. Well, I guess we have
And
to
while
go back
Steve's
and
a
see.
nice, tall young man, he's not freakishly tall.
No.
So
Yeah. And I mean, it's totally different than one time I was in Hollywood Studios doing the same thing, and or not Hollywood Studios, Disney Springs, excuse me. And the construction of the springs, I was doing the same thing with my phone, and there's a construction guy that came around. He was like, "Hey, you want a better view?" And he actually opened the door to the construction, and I got to take pictures in
Well,
that
let's
way.
face it, at Disney Springs, you can see the construction from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go in the balloon, you can go up on the...
Morimoto literally
yeah.
overlooks that whole area. There's no hiding it there. They're embracing it actually, from what I've seen.
But the best thing that we did was Steve had told me that scratched into the cement was Yankees rule, right?
Yeah, it was some weird nod to the New York street, and it was supposed to make it more authentic that it was actually New York or whatever. And we were like, oh, well, this would just be a fun picture. But it turned out to be impossible to find.
Yeah. And,
So we were just
and
doing
we
that all day.
were walking around all through that area looking at all the names that people had put in the cement for part of the effect. But we stopped at Used Guys Merchandise to ask them if they knew, because where they're like New York, maybe they know. And they're like, no. And finally, we did ask on Facebook, but by that time we had found it. But you looked at a video because somebody said they were by mailboxes. So we were looking by every mailbox. And here it's to the left of where Used Guys Merchandise is. There's a red and a blue mailbox, and scratched in the cement was Yankees Rule. And where they're like, now that's pretty cool when you think of all the little details that Disney puts into, and there was a stack of newspapers from Storybook Brook sitting there. But it's like, I'm going to miss that. And we did Lights, Motors, Action, and we were up on top, and I had forgotten the view that you get overlooking all of Disney. You could see Epcot in the distance. You could see the balloon. It was just a nice way to say we watched Lights, Motors, Action. So now it's like, not that I was really that sad it was going away, but
And on a hot day, you can pop microwave popcorn up there.
right. And we were trying to get a picture of Walt's airplane because that's right behind. And I had heard that apparently that is it's a rumor that is supposed to go back out to the archives in California. So it's like, for me, seeing the plane, that means something. It's going to be sort of sad that it's leaving here
Yeah.
and going out to Disneyland. So,
It was definitely a day where I transitioned from being like good riddance, I'm just excited for Star Wars, to being like, I'm still very excited for Star Wars, and I'm glad that they're making this transition, but it made me like, okay, it is kind of sad that
So
we're losing.
what's going away? What kind of stuff is going away?
Streets of America is gone.
Have you been asleep for 2 years?
I have not been to this. Well, maybe we have been to the studios for a meal, but I haven't.
Well, all of
passed.
New York Street is going away. The backlot tour is completely gone
I
already.
knew that, yeah.
The
Lights,
Honey,
Motors.
I Shrunk the Kids Playground is going away.
Yeah.
Lights, Motors, Action is going away. Muppets area is changing up. That whole area is changing up. But
You were
But you
talking
mentioned-
about. I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
was saying, but you mentioned props and stuff is going away.
well, just the props like that were over by backlot, just
you
little
know, as
things
you
that
do
they.
the backlot tour, you'd see different things from like the Rocketeer and Walt's plane and all that stuff. That's all got to go.
And back where it used to be, where you got off the backlot tour and you'd go in and it was like a museum, or they'd have different things in there.
Yeah, AFI
Then-
theater.
Yeah, now it was Watto's
Yeah, I like that a lot.
grotto that had Star Wars stuff, but it's like all those buildings, the feeling, because you really did feel like, you were in New York when you hear the sounds and everything. And it's like, I get progress, but it was like, I think we both enjoyed our time just appreciating the details.
Yeah.
You were talking about the plane. I've told this story before, but I have a friend. I haven't seen him in many years. We used to work together, and his dad worked at McCoy Field, which is right around the corner from here. It's not far away. Not far away at all. And that plane, his dad used to work for, managed the airport.
Okay.
And he remembers that plane landing in Orlando. And he has a set of the actual Mickey Mouse Club ears that the Mouseketeers wore. It's all embroidered
wow,
and it's
yeah.
felt. And he remembers Walt Disney giving him that, handing him that as he got off the
Wow.
plane.
Wow.
So his dad would land that plane and usher him to a private car, and Walt Disney would go off doing what he was doing. But he has an actual artifact of that.
Wow.
Oh, that's neat.
And for those who don't know, McCoy Field was a military airfield that is now Orlando International Airport, which is why the call letters for that airport are MCO. That stands for McCoy.
We now, but MCO used to be what is called the Little Executive Airport. That's all that was here before Orlando International. So that was Orlando's airport right up here off Route 50.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And that's where Walt used to land his plane before the international airport was
Yeah.
built.
I learned the other day about the airstrip that's on property.
Stallport.
Yeah, I thought that was so cool. Apparently, it's like still kind of there. It's just like
Yep,
a bunch
it
of
is.
trucks are parked
It
on
is. They
it.
park it.
Yeah.
And it stands for, you know what it stands for, right?
No.
Short takeoff and landing.
Oh, cool.
They expected it when Disney World first opened. I believe they used it that small planes would be able to land there and visit the parks before they flew out.
They
again.
imagine there being sort of a package where you would actually charter a small plane, fly into Walt Disney World, stay at one of those hotels, and fly
And if you're
out.
interested in where it is, if you're going down World Drive, just before you take the left into like where the kennel is and you're headed towards the Polynesian and the Grand Floridian, it's right there along your right-hand side. They do park a lot of buses there now.
Yes, and shameless plug, but for more information on some of the earlier things of Disney World and what was supposed to happen, tune into Connecting with Walt. Whenever we discussed a lot of this thing. No, Michael did a ton of research. It's brilliant. Just to like give you a side bit of it, there was actually supposed to be another airport just in Kissimmee, even closer than where MCO would have been, and that would have been the airport you fly in that would have been connected with a monorail straight onto Disney property, even eliminating the need for the stall port. And Michael's obviously brilliant with his research and everything he came up with. So I think that was in the December round of shows or whenever we did it. I don't remember when we did it last, but a lot of good information on
January?
that.
Maybe?
January. There you go. That's a date. Yeah, but brilliant information out there. So go and listen to those shows if you haven't yet.
That kind of stuff fascinates me.
Yeah. No, it really is great.
All right. On that note, we are going to wrap it up. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again in 2 weeks with the next edition of the Diz Unplugged. Have a great week, everybody. And remember, stay out of the damn lakes. Buddha sticky pig wings.